Hello and welcome back to another Jet2Guy video. So today I'm going to be looking at the weather that could be happening in December and January. Now this is going to be a quick video of me just running over a few of the things I'm looking at and giving my overall thoughts. So let's get started. Sea surface temperature anomalies is one of the things I look at as they can correlate to colder or warmer than average weather patterns across the northern hemisphere. So what we have here down in the equatorial region is our ENSO. So ENSO can oscillate between La Nina, which is warmer than average, and La Nina, which is colder than average, and currently we are in a La Nina with a focus on the eastern side being significantly colder than average, and that can lead to a negative NAO in the UK and blocking areas of high pressure. And I'm not sure on the teleconnections how. It's quite complicated and it involves a lot of weird things such as Rossby waves, which I do not fully understand. There's something to do with the jet stream and they're quite complicated. Anyway, moving on, we have this region up here. Now this region shows a colder than average followed by a warmer than average followed by a warmer than average, which indicates a weak to neutral dipole, which can indicate a weak to neutral NAO. So that's good for cold and average weather, as a negative NAO can send the jet stream slightly southwards and slightly weaker, meaning it can oscillate more. That also does mean if it's oscillating more, we can end up very warm, or we could end up very quickly very cold. So got to be on the lookout for that. However, I do think we could see a cold and average winter based on those two temperature anomalies. If I just rub these drawings out, I want to show you one more quick thing, which is the warm and average sea surface temperature anomalies to our northeast under Alaska. Now this can inflate a ridge and this can send low pressure into America. This low pressure can bring very cold air into America, but it can also, as it collides with the warm subtropical air, blow up the jet stream. And that's where we get the risk of getting massive meanders with a blown up jet stream, causing either one, very cold air to be sent southwards, or two, very warm air to be sent northwards. Okay, so the next thing I look at is the Arctic Oscillation and the North Atlantic Oscillation. Now the sea surface temperature anomalies reflected a negative to slightly neutral NAO, which is what's being forecast here, and the AO is strongly negative, indicating areas of high pressure over the pole, which could lead to cold and average weather in the short term in December and into January. So we'll have to see if these stay negative. If they go positive, and southern stratospheric warming could send them deeply negative again, which could send even colder air into the UK. At the minute, currently, I would say we're somewhere in between chilly and cold. We are not severely cold yet, as we're not getting lowland southern snowfall that's widespread. Okay, so the next thing we're looking at is the QBO. Now, a quasi-bilineal oscillation is a band of winds around the equatorial region that filter down from around 1 HPA to around 30 HPA each 24-month period, and they go in phases. So it goes in an easterly phase here, into a westerly phase, then into an easterly phase. This year, however, we've had something interesting happen. We've had a partial failure of the easterly QBO, as the westerlies have strengthened here, as you can see. However, in the last month or two, the easterlies have made a comeback at the top of the stratosphere, indicating we could be going into easterly QBO into the latter half of winter. This also could be a reason why we've seen a tropospheric and stratospheric decoupling, and that could be an reason why we're seeing such strange weather patterns at the minute, because synoptics are quite unusual considering we have a very strong stratospheric polar vortex. We would expect zonality on the surface. However, we're seeing the complete opposite. We are seeing cold and average weather and lots of blocking. So could this be the reason why? Some think so. I haven't really got an opinion, but we shall see. Okay, so the last thing I look at is the stratospheric polar vortex and the chance of an SSW. So the chance of an SSW this year is on a give about a 40% chance of it actually happening, as lots of people have talked about it. It could happen. I think, yeah, there's a 40% chance. I'm not putting it any higher at the minute because not enough ensembles are showing it at the minute. This could, however, change in the near future. These ensembles here show the zonal mean wind flow at 10 HPA. So basically, if it's negative, it's showing an easterly wind flow wrapping around there, around the stratosphere. And at the minute, it's quite strong. It's predicted to go weaker than average and then further weaker than average as we go into January, which is a good sign for colder than average weather. These ensembles indicate an SSW, which could indicate a complete collapse of the stratospheric polar vortex and easterly winds on the surface. I won't get into detail how, however it can. And this plot here shows the decoupling we've had on the surface, as talked about earlier. We have, sorry, not high pressure, we have westerly winds strong up here in the stratosphere, and we have weak winds down here on the surface, which are not reflective of the westerly winds in the stratosphere. So what you'd expect is these orange colours on the surface as well, which we have not seen. Okay, so that's my winter forecast. Basically, on those 4 or 5 indicators, I'm predicting a colder than average winter overall, especially in December and January, with December possibly containing a cold snap midway through. As we go into January, we could see periods of zonality as the decoupling might end. It never normally stays for a month or so. You don't see it prolonged. And then later into January, we could, if we get an SSW, see very cold air moving into the UK. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little forecast from Jet2 Guy, and hope you have a good evening, and goodbye.